Oh, Jesus Christ, no, this is the sad part. Okay, give me a sec. There's a point in every parent's life where they have to let their child go. Whether it be for the better or for the worst, it must happen at some point. I know I sit here in my living room, but myself, sulking over photographs and distant memories of me and Dashie. On her 20th birthday, I had planned a special outing to see a flight show. As we prepared to leave, there was a knocking at the door. Oh. Never in years we have lived here, there had been a knocking at the door. Here's where I started crying because I already knew what was going to happen. Hell, we haven't even made arrangements if someone did show up. I simply told her to go into her room while I took care of it. Once I heard her door shut, calmly and collectively I asked who it was, suspecting some stranger, possibly lost on her travels. A female voice spoke in such an elegant, yet attention-grabbing tone. I felt myself listening to her with the uttermost attention. She asked if she may come in, a question I'd normally refuse within a heartbeat, and yet something about her voice was reminiscent. I couldn't help but walk over and open the door. Oh God, no. When I saw the figure standing on my porch, I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or hallucinating. Standing there was the radiant and majestic Princess Celestia. I was a loss of words, fighting both emotions of brony excitement, which I had only felt when I first found Dashie, and emotions of sorrow, for I knew what this meant. She stood there another second looking at me. We matched each other in eye level, her body being the size of a fully grown horse. I stepped back and allowed her to enter. What caught me off guard next was the 5 other ponies that followed. First, Twilight Sparkle. Then the rest of the gang. Applejack, Rarity, Fluttershy, and lastly, Pinkie Pie bounced in. When I first saw... Oh, so this is what an alien house looks like on the inside. Oh my, you have a kitchen! I'm starving. Are you starving? I can make assumption she was stopped by Applejack's hoof. Easy there, Sugar Cube. We're just here for Rainbow, so we ain't got no time for eating. Applejack's stomach growled. No matter how hungry we are, I'm trying my best to not sound dumb and at the same time do an impersonation of their voices, so just don't bash on me for this. I still wasn't sure how to completely react to all this, but not wanting to be rude, I offered some leftovers. We have some leftovers from dinner last night. You're more than welcome to some. Pinkie took that as an okay and ran to the kitchen with much vigor. It seemed I did not even need to tell her where she was. She instantly knew where everything was placed. Factor it to either dumb luck or simply being Pinkie Pie, I choose the latter. I'll go keep an eye on her, Applejack said, walking over to the hyper pony. As she passed, she tipped her hat to me. I was finding it odd the ponies were not more hesitant around such a creature such as me. Then again, the same could be said for myself. But having Dashie for 15 years, I grew used to having such a thing around me. Now I have 5 other ponies and a fully sized goddess horse looking at me with the same amount of curiosity that I held for them. There was a moment of silence as I watched the 2 mares enter my kitchen and began to rummage through my fridge. I'm quite surprised, Celestia began. I had quite experienced a little more resistance to us entering. Why, I know who you all are. Celestia nodded. Ah, so you do know, then. That you are fictional characters from a children's TV show, then yes. Otherwise, why you are all here, I have no clue. The last part I lied, hoping to keep my mind at ease. I knew the reason, but I wanted to ignore it. Oh, I think you do know. Oh God, no. My heart fell into a pit of stomach. I didn't know. And I did know. And she was straight to the point about it. During all these years, I had anticipated this moment. But as time drug on, that Though that thought slowly dispelled until it was just nothing more than a minor nip in my mind. That's when it always happened, you know. When everything is finally perfect and you don't have to worry anymore. Excuse me, sir, Twilight began, but from what we could figure out, Rainbow Dash should be here. Is she? I looked to the purple mare. I wanted to tell her no, but I was fruitless. She's upstairs in her room. In her room? Rarity asked, surprised. Yes, I know, that was horrible. I'm not even gonna try anymore. Yes, Dashie is in her room. I wasn't sure who was knocking, and I didn't want her to be spotted. Dashie? My, you're that friendly with her already? Rarity continued. I wanted to punch that pony so hard right then. How she responded insulted me. Friendly? That's not even the beginning of it. And I should be asking you ponies as what the hell you did. Celestia raised a brow, taken by my change of tone. You see, my student, I know who she is. Get to the chase. I was very short with her. As furious as I was, I wanted to know why they'd send Dashie as a filly to some other world. Twilight bit her lip as her teacher continued. Yes, of course. She was working on a spell to help the weather team with some storm development. Well, they made slightly too large of a storm, and when Twilight used her magic and tried to dispel it, it shot a lightning bolt, meeting her magic. Rainbow Dash was unfortunate enough to be within the reach of the blast, and it engulfed her and sent her too. Well, here. So we went to retrieve her. Simple enough as I imagined. Before I could answer, Dashie called out from her bedroom. Dad, is everything all right? Oh no. God, Jesus Christ. That second, my heart stopped beating as I looked from pony to pony. Each one's face was in pure shock and confusion. They recognized the voice of the Rainbow Dash. But she said, Dad. Excuse me, Sugar Cube, Applejack started, returning from the kitchen. Did I just hear Rainbow Dash call you Dad? Before I could answer, Celestia started up again. Do you care to explain? I was lost. So many things were running through my mind at once. There was only one thing I could do. And I had to do it, but I knew I wouldn't like it. Go to the living room and make yourselves comfortable. I'll be right down with her. Oh God, I can't. I didn't allow a response. I turned around and walked up the stairs slowly. Dad? Yeah, Dashie, I'm coming up. I looked back down at the group of ponies as they watched me ascend. We need to talk. So that's what I did. I told her who was down here, and that they were here to take her back. She had seen the cartoon every so often, and found the wacky adventures entertaining. She had given up any thought that Rainbow Dash in the show was her, and only viewed it as another cartoon. As I talked to her, and explained that those very ponies she didn't believe me in were downstairs. She brushed me off with some laughs. She didn't believe me, as though I was playing some joke on her. Dashie! Pinkie shouted, jumping onto her scion friend. Dashie was quick to shove the pink pony off. Hey, get away from me! She was taken by the sudden amount of ponies filling our living room. They all looked at her with worried expressions, as why she shoved her closest friend away. Pinkie's cotton candy mane went straight as she looked in confusion. You don't recognize me, do you? No, or any of you, Dashie continued. It hurt me in so many ways. I knew that these were her friends, but so many things had happened differently, and she didn't know the truth fully, and neither did they. So I had to explain it to them. Give me a second. Oh, Jesus. I started. Dashie, take a seat, please, so I can talk to them. She did just that, in her recliner. The entire time she looked at the ponies who occupied the couches and the center rug in front of the fireplace. It was time, but first I had to start with a question. How long ago was she sent over here? The question caught them off guard, but Twilight cleared her throat. About 15 days ago, why? I was speechless. 15 days ago? Shit, she's been with me for 15 years. That means a day in their world meant a year here. Well, I continued. It's been a lot more time than that here. How long? Twilight asked. 15 years. All the ponies besides Celestia had their mouths agape. That doesn't explain why she didn't know us. Well, that's the thing. When I found her, she was a filly. Come again? From my math, I think she was no older than 4 or 5 years old. Now Celestia looked surprised. You mean to tell us that you've been taking care of Rainbow Dash for 15 years since she was a small filly? I simply nodded and looked over to Rainbow Dash, who wore an expressionless look on her face. She is, I started, but I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. I know it's not true. God, I wish it was, but I understand. The dad now makes sense. Celestia cut me off, holding a stern look about her face. She was thinking, trying to piece together in her mind what possibly happened. I chalked it up to magic. Being unstable possibly reverted into her age. For a few moments it was quiet, besides the breathing of 7 ponies and myself. Finally, it was Dashie who broke the silence. So what's supposed to happen now? I looked to the princess, trying to read her face. No matter how good I'd gotten at reading Dashie's face, Princess Celestia had the best poker face I've ever seen. I had no clue what she was thinking or feeling at this moment. Well, it's quite simple, Twilight. Celestia looked to her pupil, who instantly perking up her. Do you still remember that memory spell from the Discord incident? Oh no, don't. Please don't. No. Twilight simply nodded as she stood from the couch and hopped onto the floor. Oh no, please. Please don't. This is the second time I read this, but still. Okay. I knew what was going on, what Celestia had in mind. She wanted Twilight to either erase her memories and start from anew, or possibly, I hope she just wanted to give Dashie her memories of their friendships and time in Ponyville. I wasn't sure what to do. I felt it was right. I knew it was right, and it needed to be done. Please don't do this. I had been telling myself that for 15 years, as I had waited for this moment. But there was something I needed to say before it happened. These ponies were gonna take my Dashie away. And I had some words to speak before that could happen. No, wait, please, I started. Twilight stopped and looked at the sun goddess. Just give us a moment. Oh no, just give us a moment with her, please. All I ask, since this is the last time we'll ever see each other. I had given up holding back my tears. At this point I was openly crying. The other ponies I could tell I was hurting, and Dashie didn't look to be faring too well either. So figuring it was a good idea to prolong the inevitable, I walked over to the chair Dashie sat in, knelt down to meet eye level as I spoke. Dashie, my little Dashie, I love you with all my heart. You have done wonders to open me up from the man I once was. I had to pause a moment to settle down. You had brought me so much joy in my life that I cannot possibly thank you for. At this point, Dashie too had begun to cry. That only made things worse for me.